Hi, I'm Jane Stafford from the School of Weaving, and I'm here to tell you about what's happening in season 8. 8, the number 8, it's a Fibonacci number, and it's a great time to look back at all that we've done over the past 7 years and plan for how we can move forward in the future. So we have some changes coming along this year. It's the first year I've ever asked other teachers, other weaving teachers, to come and teach for me. And I'm so very, very excited to have Rebecca Logan and Barbara Mitchell, two weavers who have participated in the Dream Team for many years, come to do an episode each. How cool is that? Barbara Mitchell has been a contributor to Handwoven in several of their issues, and Rebecca Logan has a whole pattern collection on handweaving.net, and she's contributed to quite a few patterns here at JST, as has Barbara. Gosh, when I think about all these two wonderful members of the Dream Team have contributed to all the episodes and the show and tells and our products here in the studio. So that is a big change for me. We have one more guest instructor coming, and that's Joan Carrigan. At the end, she's going to do another basket for us. So what else is happening that's new? We're going to go down to 8 episodes, but I've been listening to all of the feedback that's coming in. We don't want to leave 4 shafts, Jane. Oh, please don't leave 4 shafts. Well, I also hear, ooh, when are you going to go do some 8-shaft stuff? We need some 8-shaft stuff. I'm going to try and give you all everything you want. So we're going to go down to 8 episodes, but we'll have, for most of them, for the majority, a 4-shaft version and an 8-shaft version. So that means for those episodes where we have 4 and 8-shaft versions, the PDF material has become massive. And by going down to 8 episodes, that allows me to create bigger episodes for 4 and 8, with the exception, I think next year we have 1 episode that's just 4 and 1 episode that's just 8. But everybody, it's a win-win for everybody moving forward this way. So I'm going to tell you about what all of the episodes are. Episode 1. Episode 1 is a sequel. We're carrying on from the last thing that we did in season 7, which was M's and O's going on a date with Huck and hanging out with Color and Weave. There was so much in that episode that I just had to add another episode to it. So we're doing it again, and this time I added a log cabin sequence on top of that modified M's and O's threading, but I also brought in the laces. So we'll have a good look at that, tons of fun, tons of possibility, and that's it. Here's some shots from that episode. M's and O's went out on a date with Huck and brought Color and Weave along. They had a lot of fun. So this is exactly the same profile that we had before. Tabby, tabby, float. Episode 2 is our first episode presented by Rebecca Logan, and she's going to be doing shadow weave. Way back in season 4, episode 8, I think it was, I presented the Atwater method of drafting shadow weave. Well, Rebecca is going to teach us the Powell method of drafting shadow weave. She has woven so many pieces. It's absolutely amazing the work that she's put into this. So we have lots of PDFs, a set of PDFs for 4-shaft, a set of PDFs for 8 shafts. We have her demonstrating shaft shuffling, the shaft shuffling tools on iWeave It and Fiberworks. So that is a great help. It's a long episode because we're doing 4 and 8, but we've got some phenomenal pieces. Here are a few little shots from that episode.
18-2 merino and zephyr, which is wool and silk, are often woven at the same set. We have a straight draw, we have the little dump, 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 dump. So we have done a border. We have a corner motif, this large corner motif, and we
Episode 3 is one of my episodes, and I'm really excited about it. It is the first time that we've tackled deflected double weave. I got so carried away preparing for this, and I wove a 4-shaft sampler that just goes on and on. For anyone who's a member of the School of Weaving, you know how I can go on and on and on. I wove it all in with one shuttle in colors, exploring all of the combinations. And then I went to 2 shuttles and dark light and built the color and weave sequence. And then I created a set of, I don't know, 8 or 10 towels here where we study composition of the weave structure and using color. I had so much fun with these, and you're gonna love them. This is 4-shaft deflected double weave, but wait, there's more. It's like that Ginsu knife commercial, you know? But wait, there's more. We also have an 8-shaft version, and the 8-shaft version started with Mary Atwater's very first draft for deflected double weave, as it's called now. It's from her pattern book, her recipe book. I started with her original threading. I morphed it into a million other things. So again, I wove a huge long sampler. And you know our samplers, they're all photographed and go into a wonderful PDF. Here it is not washed, here it is fulled afterwards. And then at the end of that whole project where we explore what's possible with combining blocks, I wove a stellar, well, I personally think it's stellar, piece in alpaca. So from one of the samples in that sampler. So that's going to be really exciting. Episode 4 is going to be presented by Barbara Mitchell. Now, I just thought I would let you see a copy of one of her pieces on the front of Handwoven magazine. So I'm sure many of you have seen this. It's pretty recent. It was just out this fall, May, June 2023. So that's one of Barbara's pieces. And right now, as I'm filming this, she's working away in her studio in Vancouver, building all of the content for this episode. But this episode will be for 4 and 8 shafts, and we'll be studying block double weave. So a great study in color and how we can have 2 sides that are completely different. I have some examples. This is the first piece I ever did in 2 block double weave from a million years ago. It's the same, well, it's a reverse on the other side. But we're going to be playing more with color in this episode because color interaction with block double weave is amazing. So here's a good example of this. This is from my collection, and I believe this was woven by Valerie Forchesi from Calgary a long, long time ago. Anyway, front and back. So we'll be learning all about this structure on what we can do on 4 and what we can do on 8. So that's that one. For years, you have listened to me talk about how inspired I have been by the weavers of India. I'm always referring to the things that I've learned there and from them. And I've created workshops in the past. One of them was called Inspiration from the Sari. And so it is with great pleasure that I add this episode to the School of Weaving. It is inspired completely by this remarkable sari that you've seen hanging on my wall as a backdrop for years and years. And these are all sequins that have been woven into double weave pockets on this sari. So, oh my gosh, it's gonna move. Is it gonna move? I've pulled it right off the wall for this. So we're going to do our own little version where we make our own sequins. We'll have sequins that you can purchase. You can get sequins anywhere. And we have all kinds of ways to weave this. Now I'm still pushing this further and getting it ready for you, but we're also going to weave turn twill on this. So that's cool. So this is an 8-shaft project. It's the one that will be an 8-shaft. The M's and O's was the 4-shaft. So that's going to be exciting. Episode 6 is going to be the wonderful Miss Joan Carrigan bringing us another basket. This time it's one of her rib baskets, and you'll get this episode in time to be able to make some for Christmas presents if you want. So the whole episode will be how to make this basket from beginning to end. And we will have, let me just turn this and show you how beautiful it is. And we will have, or Joan will have, kits made up so that you can make this basket out without having to buy a whole bunch of basketry supplies. Everything will be pre-cut for you, and you'll just be able to follow along with the video and weave with Joan. How great is that? In episode 7, you get me again, and it is a 4 and an 8 shaft session. Now, every single episode that has been in the School of Weaving has come from one of my bigger workshops, and this is no exception. This is from the Double Weave workshop, and it is Double Faced Twills for 4 and 8 shaft. So on a 4 shaft loom, we can create a piece of fabric that has one face, and when you turn it over, it's a completely different face. This is so much fun, has so many uses in weaving. And then we can do the same thing in Twill on 8 shaft, where we have one face of the fabric, one plaid or another plaid, or one side can be solid and one side can have a different pattern on it. We can only do vertical striping on 4, but we can do vertical and horizontal striping on 8. So it's a great study and something for everybody in it. I have yet to develop that into a full episode with all kinds of samples, but I'll have it done by the end of the year. You can bet on it. Anyway, our last episode will be our finale, where we look at everything that we've learned. Those finales are so helpful to congeal all that knowledge. Congeal, I don't know if that's a good word. Maybe it's not, but you know what I mean. Put it all together. See where we've come throughout the year. So that's it, kids. It's going to be a wonderful, exciting year. I'm thrilled to be going down or opening a new chapter in the School of Weaving, where we have other instructors coming to teach us. So I hope you come for the ride. And now for some chickens.